It's challenging with the way technology is pushing everything. I think that it's, people are wanting to maybe not have that person-to-person relationship. Everything's done digitally. And so I think that's tough to find. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think what we have done with our product, again, with the maintenance aspect of it, I think it creates another element for the F&I individual and the dealership to create a relationship with a consumer, especially if they have a service drive.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Drive. I'm here in sunny Las Vegas. It's hot, but not too hot.
It's warm, yeah.
And I'm with the one, the only, the oh so famous, he paid me to say it. No, I'm just kidding. I got Anthony with Gold Standard Automotive. Anthony, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. We haven't seen each other.
Thanks for having me. It's been a year that we've been
I
trying to do
know.
this.
Well, we've seen each other right now through the show and stuff like that, and it's good to see you, man. And it's fun to have you back in the car. We have an open top this time, so it was hot last time, but I think it might just be just as hot now as it was last time.
Nope, I agree.
Well, Anthony, I appreciate you taking the time to join me. I love starting off these conversations with a little origin story because I'm just fundamentally fascinated how people get in the business, and I know you have a fun story to top it off. So let's kick it off there. Anthony, for everybody out there watching and listening, how did you get started in this crazy little world we call the automotive industry?
That's a great question. So I don't know how far back we can go, but we have a little bit of drive
all the way
time
to the
here.
womb? No, I'm just
Well, I was going to say.
for you.
But we grew up, so Brent Timpson, my dad, is of the auto industry. And kind of a backstory to him is he and my mom had pizza stores back in the day when I was a kid, and I have 4 other siblings, so there's five kids total. They had about 11 or 12 pizza franchises at one point that they had. And my dad's always been an entrepreneurial type of individual. Mm-hmm. And at one point, those just kind of started to dissolve and fade out. And he, I think at that point, started looking, what was he going to do next?
Sure.
And somehow, and he would probably be able to tell the story better, but he got into the auto industry. And
for pizzas, I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so I think it was because he's a sales individual, loves to talk to people, got into it, started making some money as a sales individual, and then spent the next 20 plus years working for the Larry H. Miller Group.
So you got bit by the bug.
Exactly.
It happens, man.
So in there, he started selling, moved his way up. I think he claims, I believe, that he was a GM at one point, and I don't know if that's exactly true or not, but
I hope he watches this episode.
He worked at F&I, he was a sales, and he was great at sales. His entrepreneurial mind kind of still kept going to, I want to do something of my own. Yeah. I love the industry. What can we do? And again, as he was working for the Larry H. Miller Group, he saw that there was a shift, as he thought, towards service. Mm-hmm. And so with that, he was like, okay, what can we do to get customer retention back to the dealerships through the service drive?
Yes. So
he decided to concoct or put together some maintenance items to have a maintenance-only program.
Yeah.
And so in 2008, 2009, I was working construction, and he ripped me apart from there and said, hey, what are you going to be doing your whole life? Like, let's do something. And so we went out and we had this maintenance program. And locally in Utah, we set up probably about 20 or 30 dealerships. Easy to sign them up. Mm-hmm. Really hard to sell.
Yeah.
And it was new. I mean, They loved the idea of making oil changes, brake pads, batteries, tire rotation, like that. That's fantastic. Like, this is easy.
Because I'm going to do it anyways, right? Exactly. I mean, yeah, why not?
And I think that the economy was also not forgiving in 2008, 2009.
I'd say that time frame, yeah, man, that was a tough time to be in the business.
It was tough. And so, again, signed up a bunch of stores, had no sales. The little bit of cash that he raised lasted us 2 or 3 months. Went out of business. And then at that point, he just, again, this can work. As a consumer, as a customer, why would this not work? As a dealership offering it to a consumer or a customer, why would they not buy this? So in 2011, he went through several people leading up to 2011 of trying to find more investment money, mm-hmm. Which was probably a blessing because he created or went out and sought different TPAs.
Sure.
Put together a limited powertrain vehicle service contract, mm-hmm. And then paired it with the maintenance that he had as his brainchild. And so
It's a good combo.
2012, yeah, I mean,
great combo.
it was fantastic. And in 2011, my sister, she started back with him as customer service and claims adjuster.
Okay.
Doesn't know anything about the industry. She was self-taught, mechanically, everything else.
So man, this thing is really a family affair.
100%. And we all learned, and which has been really a blessing to like start from the ground, but just start with grind and know that we can do this with a great product for a consumer.
Yeah.
So she started answering the phones, which were very few and far between. My dad approached me again and said, okay, we need to expand. I need some more boots on the ground. Let's do this again. And of course, having my wife's going, this didn't work well the first time.
But it's that tenacity, and that's what I think, dude, that's automotive. That is just automotive in itself. And props to your pops for, wanting to make it a family thing. Dude, I tried one time working with my dad. I remember pulling off the highway and kicking him out of the car one time.
Oh.
And then my mom called me and said, where's your dad? I said, I don't know, somewhere on the 404.
And that was the one and only time?
Look, not everybody can do it, but I think it's really cool that you guys were able to do it. And it makes sense the way I can see some of that family that you guys have in some of your guys' offering, right? Like, and I love, like, I know we got some topics today. We're gonna jam into them then, but we've talked before. I'm familiar with what you guys have to offer. There just doesn't seem to be kind of like a family element, in it, which I admire, man. I think that's really, really cool that you do that. So let's get into our first topic today, right? So we're talking about customer service, and relationships are just kind of, honestly, man, they're just being overlooked right now.
Yeah.
Which, look, I think for majority of the people out there watching this right now, because they're watching this, you guys are probably actually doing a good job. But I would agree 100% that the majority of the industry right now really struggles in this space, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. I think that it's challenging with the way technology is pushing everything. I think that it's, people are wanting to maybe not have that person-to-person relationship. Everything's done digitally, and so I think that's tough to find. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think what we have done with our product, again, with the maintenance aspect of it, I think it creates another element for the F&I individual and the dealership to create a relationship with a consumer, especially if they have a service drive.
Well, you know what? I want to go, because we do talk about the relationship a lot. By the way, I love finding rabbit holes. I'll totally chase a rabbit hole.
Okay, deal.
Right? So I think, for everybody out there watching and listening, I know you guys have been to these conferences or you've watched other podcasts, relationship. Let's just really just get down to the nuts and bolts. What is the byproduct of a relationship? Loyalty.
Yeah.
Right? Not retention, all right? Actual loyalty.
Right.
And, I think any good business operator out there, regardless of the vertical you're in, that should always be a number one priority.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I totally agree. And I think sometimes we get patient as people, and the loyalty can take time, and to build a relationship takes time. But I think that, when you manifest that and you put that and do that, I think that you do create loyal customers.
Yes.
And there's more to it. I also feel, not the rabbit hole, like sometimes I go off on tangents, I apologize.
I do it all the time. I do.
I feel like that it's more rewarding when you create that relationship.
It is.
Transactional is nice, monetarily, everything that's fantastic, but the rewarding aspect of having that customer that that is not just based off of monetary, that is, I think, what is our industry.
Well, it's considerably more satisfying. Guys, let me kind of put this into kind of a story format, right? Like, what does when a customer is loyal to your business? What is that? What are they really saying to you, right? They're saying they trust you.
Yeah.
All right. And I got to be honest with you. I've been a service director. I've been a service supervisor, writer, right? Like I've been in those shoes. I've been the F&I manager. I've done all kinds of stuff, right? When someone just says, "Here's the keys, I trust you," okay, it's the best damn feeling ever.
Yeah.
And it should be our objective, right? Like, I don't want to sell anything to anybody. Yeah, does that sound weird? Does that sound weird coming from a salesperson? Like, I don't actually want to sell, because I've been sold stuff before.
Yeah.
Like, you've probably been sold. Does it feel good? like to be sold, right? No, it doesn't, right? But when I walk away, going, man, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
I trust, the information they gave me, what they offer, and like, all right, man, I'm gonna go back there. Like, it's like your brain almost kind of shuts off the fact that you need to go find somebody else to help you with this, right? You got a guy. It's your guy or girl, whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a good feeling.
Well, and again, from our aspect, we work a lot, and we talked with independents.
Yeah.
That, I mean, a franchise is, maybe different than an independent space where that's where someone lives.
That's right.
And so again, the loyalty aspect of like, I want to go back to XYZ Auto Sales.
Yeah, loyalty could be geo-based, it could be location-based, it could be a product-based. So it could be like, I'm just loyal to Ford, so I'm going to buy a Ford, right?
Right.
You don't get that in the independent world, which I love, actually, to be honest with you. Because what are you saying when you're loyal and you come back as a repeat customer? What are you saying? I'm loyal to you.
I believe in you. I believe in your product and what you did for me the previous time.
Exactly. Now, I think a lot of that breaks down. Like here, when I think about kind of the sales journey, right? And here's the thing that, we all know about the sales journey. It is made and broken from little things, right? It's a little things that make and break, all right, a customer's experience, right? It can just demolish it, right? And I hate to say it, but when we kind of typically get into the F&I, okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. Yeah, you know me, I like finding rabbit holes. Okay. Guys, this is the conversation, all right? This is how it's gonna go down. Okay, so recently bought a truck, right? Chevy Silverado, Trail Boss. Love the truck. Just in love with it, right? Bought it used. And I go to the dealership with the salesperson, and you know what? So far, the experience have been great, right? They let me really kind of do the transaction the way I wanted to do it, even though I'm sure I checked off the boxes they needed. A lot of our communication, almost 90% of our communication was over text, because you can't call me or email me. I'm just too damn busy. Just text me and I'll get back to you, right? So we did a lot of that. It was great. We did. And then I'm there and I come to kind of like finish it. So we finish out the sales side, and the salesperson looks at me and goes, hey, no problem. All you got to do now is go to the box. And almost when he said it, like he wanted to like reach back out and like pull those words. Why the hell do we call it the box? It's like the dumbest word in the world.
And well, it's usually that, I mean, and again, maybe they're not anymore, but it's created as a box where you can't see
No
into
windows,
it. You don't know what's happening, what's going on
It's
in there. And so, yeah, that's a great question. One that you've been in the industry a lot longer than me in terms of, and owning dealerships. Why was it nicknamed?
I don't know. But I mean, I just think that, I think that's fundamentally where we are wrong right now. Like, it's like we're still treating it as this box, and so this is where the experience, obviously my great sales experience or purchase experience up to this point was going great until this, right? And there was a lot of other unfortunate. I was in queue with like 5 other people. I had to wait 3 hours to talk to this person, right? I'm just like, God, guys, like, this is why nobody enjoys doing this, right? So this kind of leads me to kind of my next topic, right? Because I wanted to kind of talk about the confusion around, F&I, Centennial, and compliance expectations, right? Because I mean, we could talk about, the people in the process and the sales aspect of it. I don't think we talk enough about this specifically, the compliance expectations, right?
Yeah.
The game is changing.
Yeah. Lenders are changing, and again, we're a smaller company.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sentinel thing is real to us, not only for the cost, but I think that one thing that we would love to see, if there's any Sentinel listeners out there, is from the customer service standpoint, from what the lenders are asking, we get all that. It makes total sense. They want compliance. They want everything to be the same. The time frame that it takes to get things approved through F&I Sentinel is a bear. Yeah. And I think in the end, we would be more apt to pay the additional fees to have things just done so that we can kind of keep business moving. Yeah. But yeah, compliance is big. And again, I understand why the lenders would want to go with someone like a Sentinel to make sure that all the forms match.
Well, what it feels like to me, and I'd love to get your thoughts, it just feels like it's a process that's being forced upon, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe there needs to be a strategy around compliance. Like I do. It has to be, here's the thing. It needs to be intentional. It can't just happen on its own, right? Like if you're out there watching and listening right now and you think that your team is checking off all of the boxes and you don't have a documented process around this, I can guarantee you they don't, all right? They're all following what they think the process is, not actually what it is. Right. I'm sure you've seen this play out as well, right?
Yeah.
I think a good strategy has to be put in place here, right? So when I think of a good strategy, I think it's a people and a process and a technology that kind of has to be wrapped up into this, right. All right? I'm going to ask this from a people perspective, and because I know you've seen some, you have some great dealers that currently work with you guys. For the dealers that are working with you right now, they're just killing it on the people side. Tell me a little bit about them. What do you see with them?
I think it's just more, again, what this topic has been, or what our conversation has been thus far, is just more human interaction.
Okay.
I think they find vehicles that fit the type of individual's lifestyle or their needs. They listen to them. They spend time with them to find the type of vehicle, if they don't have it on the lot, for that individual. And then I think they just...
I like this. They're people first, product second.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where we see like you said, we work with a lot of great dealerships and business partners. And I think the ones that actually still continue to put that consumer first do really well.
Yes. At Gold Standard, right? What are you guys doing to help dealers with this?
Well, with the Sentinel piece, I think that the only thing that we can is to get our forms approved.
Yes. Right.
They want to sell our product, and if it's not approved by Sentinel, then of course they can't sell our product. And again, what we do, what's is unique, is we have that maintenance aspect, which a lot of our dealerships utilize because it creates a different avenue to sell.
Of course.
Especially, again, leading back to the service drive. So in terms of the Sentinel piece, really just listening to their needs, their consumers' needs, and then again, kind of being force-fed of what the lender and Sentinel dictates and what we have to do to have the form realistically approved.
That's right. Well, isn't that what a good partner is supposed to be?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think, guys, if you're out there watching and listening to this, I mean, you know that's super important to find. I love that motorcycle. We're going to let that pass for a second. Okay. Finding a partner in this is very, very important. I think there's a lot of product companies out there. There are a lot of product companies, all right? I got a whole menu of crap you can sell. This stuff is great, right?
Right.
But I think there's a difference between working with a product company and then working with a partner.
Right.
Right? And I find that you guys have taken more of that partner perspective. And I'm just kind of curious, why?
Why have we?
Yeah, why do you guys approach kind of like, what drives, guys to want to partner with these dealerships to ensure that, they're staying compliant and that they're meeting their objectives and goals?
I think because with me and my siblings who operate the company currently, we're customers first. Yeah. So I think we look at it from a consumer standpoint and what we would like to have offered to us, and from all the processes to walking into a dealership, to how the lending goes and to what we're being sold in the back end. And so I think that's kind of what our approach has been, is we've now, grown into the industry the past 12, 13 years. So we've learned more about the industry and of the industry, but we were consumers first. So we kind of look at everything as a consumer first.
You look at through that lens, right? Which makes sense. I mean, if you're a dealer out there and you're customer centric yourself, it makes sense. You want to work with a company that also kind of has that same approach to the lens. You said something, and again, like I said, I always kind of like to find things, right? We talked about the back end, right? Again, I want to push back on the industry because I don't think there's a front, I don't think there's a back, right? Like, I think, and I've had the opportunity to interview and meet some incredible operators out there, and they have the same perspective. It's not front, it's not back, because that just sounds like there's two transactions happening, and there's two elements to this, right? Yeah. It's the whole thing, right? Yeah. And I think as a mindset, when we look at it, because honestly, isn't that how the customer's looking at it? Yeah. Does the customer look at it, go, okay, I got the front end done, let me go take care of the back end. Right. Customers don't think that way, right?
And it sounds weird when they hear it, probably. What are you doing here in terms of fishy? I mean,
get away from my back end.
That's exactly right.
But no, right? I think a good operator looks at it, and I'm sure you guys have seen this play out, right? Where dealerships that you're currently working with is taking your guys' solution and they're making a holistic thing. It's almost kind of like a part of just the brand. It's just a part of doing business with us. Have you seen anybody kind of adopt that mentality?
Yeah, I think as a whole, again, going back to our product being very specific in nature with being utilized in more ways than just selling somebody a what-if vehicle service contract.
Because it's a value.
That's exactly right.
It's
Irregardless
not just,
if you have a
dollar
mechanical
amount.
failure, that's exactly right. Like, you get to use gold standards products. And yeah, I think when they're a little more thorough with going through the products that are available for that vehicle, for that consumer, now, to your point, I think it can become one big transaction and versus separating it and just trying to figure out what I can put in the back end to make more money that might not be a fit for this customer.
Look, I've been in the business for a long time, longer than I should have been. All right, and I don't know about you, but I go to a dinner party, someone finds out what I do for a living. I don't know about you. The first thing comes out of their mouth, "Oh, let me tell you about this car I just bought." I'm like, "Oh God, here it comes." Right? Here's the one thing I have never been told. Well, I paid $35,000 for the truck, and then I spent another $3,000 on the warranty. I've never heard a customer say that, and not once. Yeah. It was like, I spent $37,000 on it,
and that's everything,
right?
Yeah,
that's like.
That makes
so.
total
I don't
sense.
know why our industry wants to inherently kind of split this thing up. That's not how customers purchase. It's not how they approach it, right? Yeah. I've never had anybody come and tell me that they bought the $250 biweekly car. Oh, that's a good one. Good call.
So, do you think that will change?
I think a smart operator is already making those changes, right? I mean, I've met some, I think, this weekend that are already, making that change. It's like, our customers are always going to be price driven. Of course, they're going to be price driven, but they're also value driven, and like, that's the way I think it has to be presented. It has to be presented in a value driven approach, right? It's horrible. I've seen this happen. I'm sure you may have too, where a dealer makes a decision for the customer. Right? Yeah. Oh, they're not going to buy that.
And it goes back to that loyalty and trust.
Right?
Like, do you think that's going to happen next time they think they need to buy another car?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Like it, and this kind of goes into kind of our next topic, right? Because we want to talk about this, right? Dealers are not aligning product offerings with inventory types right now. Yeah. It's and I think good operators out there, they've already been doing this. There's no one size fits all. All right. Like this needs to be a holistic value purchase, right? And to your point, we talked a little bit earlier, right? Like that goes into having to have a relationship with that customer.
Conversations, find out what they're looking for, what their needs are, past experiences. Okay, because you could probably have a conversation with an individual and find out if they've ever had curb rash on their wheels, and okay, tire and wheel might be good for you. Yes. If they've ever had a major mechanical breakdown, and what was that? So maybe figure out the plan with the vehicle and the consumer.
Well, again, if you're consumer first, it's easy to come up with a plan. Right? I hate to say it. Well, I'm going to say it. You ever get one of those? You're like, should I say this on a camera? Should I not say it? But I'm just going to say it, right? Like, I've had the opportunity now recently, because of some projects I've been working on, to go and visit about 6 major, automotive, regions, right? And physically walk into, about 90 to 100 dealerships each of those regions. Okay. Independent and franchise, both, right? And, I gotta be honest with you, like, I'm not super impressed with the talent that's out there. I think the art of being a consultant has kind of gone away, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like, I see so much transaction stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying when you guys sell something to a customer that it is a transactional thing, right? But it's different to have a customer first approach versus a transaction approach. Wouldn't you agree?
I would, and I'd be curious your take is, do you think that's because we move so fast nowadays? Like that we're taught to be sped up with everything because, going back to a good operation person or not, like there's 5 more other people waiting. I need you to wrap this up to move on to the next, versus taking the time, breaking down the walls, building the trust, building the loyalty. So is it just we're just moving too fast?
I think so. I think definitely for some people, and and you've heard people talking about this. Even let's get back to basics. I don't know if I don't know if I like that term, but there is some truth in that term.
Yeah.
Is it necessary to get back to basics, or is let's just get back to the customer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is 101.
It is, and there's a little bit of 101. And what is a business's objective, right? Yes, we move metal, all right, but so I remember I had a mentor, when I opened my first dealership, and he says kind of something silly to me, and I thought it was kind of funny. He's like, Jason, you need to focus on selling 5,000 cars. I'm like, well, Bob, I hope I sell more than 5,000 cars, through my time of ownership. He goes, no. If you really, really think about it, you need to sell 5,000 cars, all right? And you need to make those people loyal as shit, all right? Because you will not have to spend much in marketing. You're not going to have to spend much in acquisition, all right? It's just like, your objective should be to eventually move this amount of metal, but in the process of creating loyal customers, right? And I'm thinking about and then this is going back to what we're talking about, of aligning products, and offerings with the inventory type. That's just another customer-centric approach. But I'm sure you have some examples. Play that out. How does a dealer do that? Or at least how they should properly do it.
It's
not aligning is not just the product that makes the most amount of money to you. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think that what we've continued to talk about is it the long game or the short game? If it's the long game, then I think, the idea is going back to the consumer, having discussions, whether it's via text, via phone call, via email, however that might be, but not trying to force feed them the vehicle that maybe they're not looking for, but maybe you have something that you just need to offload from your lot.
But no, I think you're 100% right. Knowing your audience, I think, is one of the most important things right now.
Right.
In the way that you price your vehicles, the way that you acquire your vehicles, all right, and the way that you ultimately manage and oversee your inventory, right? I know people from an inventory perspective that have a customer first approach to it, right? I had a guy that worked for me who ultimately kind of taught me this, right? There was a reason why we carried 52 minivans in our lot. It's just, when he told me that, I'm like, are you nuts? I'm sorry, you want to spend my money how? Yeah. He's like, I'm going to buy 52 minivans. I'm like, bro, why? And he's like, look, he showed me the research. He showed me, it's like, look, no one else has this in our market, first off. All right. The most amount of leads that we're generating right now is on our minivans, right? And, when I'm looking at, and the people that are buying these things, they plan on owning them for over 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? This is not let me get into this and get into something else 2 or 3 years later.
Right.
This specific inventory speaks exactly to the type of customers that we're looking for. So let's go in inventory of customers. Dude, it worked. Oh God, it worked.
Well, and again, now to know that that's the objective, and they're going to keep these minivan owners going to keep their vehicle. Now you have a lead into back-end products. Oh, so apologize.
I know.
We should go about F&I products.
Yeah. Because now it was we pitched it wasn't $19,999 for this and then $3,000 for this. It's let's call it what it is. That's a $23,000 minivan. All right, but it has this, and this. Right. Well, I can go buy it for $19,000. Yes, you can. In fact, if you really want to, I'll sell it to you for that. Yeah. But it doesn't have this, and this. So you got to think of that. So think of that from a dealer's perspective, right? Now, what am I doing? I'm not negotiating a $19,000 purchase. I'm negotiating a $23,000 purchase.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
You're selling them on the value, which you've used many times. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So it's no, guys, look, if you want to buy just this, but it's not. Well, but I do want that. No, I know you want that, and I think you should have that because all the information you told me you should have that, right?
That's exactly right. And you're going to have it for 5 years because I know that people are keeping their minivans for 5 years plus.
Data was there to show it up, right? And I think that's just, as a good operator, and I'm sure you see this even as a good vendor, you got to have a strategy behind this, man. And this is the days of just kind of having a lot and just,
Yeah.
If I can buy it right, I'll sell it right. I don't believe that happens anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we see that with claims too. I think the idea that we claims are a touchy thing in our industry, and they very well should be. I mean, it's a big burden. But I think to pay claims keeps you in business longer. And I think sometimes people don't understand that, like, you may or may not want to pay claims, but we know that's been a huge success for us, is understanding that we have premiums and the premiums are meant to be used.
Yes.
And if that means that we can keep people in their vehicle longer and build loyal customers, which would be our dealerships,
Of course.
and our agent partners, we're going to pay the damn claim.
Yes.
So, but yeah, and that was kind of, I don't know.
No, I like the fact that, like, because let's talk a little bit about claims, right? Because and this is my marketing brain kicking in, right? Like, I think dealers look at claims as kind of like a bad review on Google. Right? All right, I'll deal with it. But I'm going to tell you right now, and maybe I'm weird, but I actually think a lot of people do this, all right, is that when I go online to read reviews about a company, I read the good reviews and I read the bad reviews. And I'm not reading the bad reviews for the same reason I think most people think of. I'm reading the bad reviews because I want to see how the company replies to the bad review.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I get it. There's some whack jobs out there.
You can't please everybody.
You're not going to please everyone.
That's exactly right.
But I love watching how a company will respond to that. Yeah. And I think, and I love the fact you brought up claims, because again, I think it's a mindset shift, right? Like, if you're going to be customer centric, then like, look at that claim as an opportunity.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
In fact, I wish, how badass, I'm just going to throw this out there. How badass would it be when you walked into a dealer partner of yours, right? And they had a wall, right? Normally, like how we have a wall of like pictures of like people who bought cars. No, I want a wall of people who've gotten claims.
Yeah. Yeah, paid claims. No, I totally agree.
Right?
Because again, you're buying a used car, and I'm sure the sales individual is telling you how that car's been reconditioned. This is great.
Of course.
But the reality is it's got a lot of miles. So yeah, look at the wall, and we partner with a company that pays claims, and that's, again, building that loyalty, that value, that trust. But yeah,
I think we need to start this thing. You're out there watching, listeners. We're doing this right now. By the way, this is the fun thing about doing these drives and stuff, is that we have a loose idea of what we're going to talk about, but we will find cool stuff to talk about. I think we should start a movement. I want to see claim walls. That's what I want to see.
I agree.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I think, again, people already assume, especially when you read the bad reviews, that no warranty company pays claims.
Dude, I'm having a light bulb moment. I'm sure you guys out there watching and listening right now, you're having a light bulb moment as well. How awesome, all right, when, you go from the sales side, you're going to walk over to the F&I manager. But before we get over there, let me just show you our claims wall. You see Mrs. Smith here? She's my girl, all right? Like, she's good. Right. Let me tell you what happened there.
Well, and new claims,
right?
Because you should probably have a filing cabinet right underneath the wall of all the old claims, but we're going to keep them within the last 30, 60 days so you can see all the new stuff. And then if you want, we can go back. How many years would you like to go back?
Dude, if it was me right now, that's how I'd be selling products. Yeah. I'm not going to here's the thing. I can tell you all day long about the feature and benefits of blah, 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 blah product, and all this stuff is going to, but you know what? How about I don't? All right. Let me show you the claims in the last month or 90 days or whatever, right? And I'm just going to bring out this Nova. I'm just going to flip through. See this one? I know that person. That's being a customer. Because that's what, it goes back to my kind of Google review thing. That's what we want to see. Right? We want to be transparent. You want to create loyalty. All right. Then you need to connect someone at a human level. And connecting to someone at a human level requires honesty. Yep. These are used cars. They're not all perfect. Come on.
And we see it all the time. I know dealerships are doing a great job reconditioning vehicles. But again, some of them can be ticking time bombs. You just don't ever know when you're going to have something happen. We just barely bought my 16-year-old. Just turned 16, we just got her a new vehicle, and within 30 days, needs a new motor. It had miles on it, but again, it's one of those things where it was great. Dealership we had no idea that engine or that motor was going to go out, and within 30 days it did. And so, yes, to your point, it's you have no idea. It's a used vehicle. Build the trust, build the loyalty, show the people that when you are getting something with your vehicle, they're actually going to stand by it.
Social proof. It's one thing to say, it's a whole nother thing to actually go ahead and just like show it, right? And look, guys, look, this happens to all of us. Anthony, it happened to you. I happened to me, man. Me and my wife, about 4 years ago, we bought a Nissan Armada. Yeah, we bought it used. All right. With the intention of, keeping it for $10,000 transmission. All right. Thinking back, I'm like, that was kind of stupid. Why didn't I get anything on that, right? Like, I know, and actually, the funny things, and I thought back to myself, I'm like, why didn't? Because, they never offered it. It was never communicated to me.
Yeah. That's
Like,
always a head scratcher.
I'm like, shit, I probably would have bought that. I mean, I know better. I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, I know these cars ain't perfect.
Right.
I know there's possibility of crap happening. Anyways.
Yeah, that could probably be a whole nother topic there.
A whole podcast just in itself, right?
Yeah, in terms of offering or not offering.
To offer or not to offer.
Exactly.
There we go. Look, guys, I know we're getting towards the tail end of our conversation, and Anthony, I love jamming with you. It's always fun, man. But I think for everybody out there watching and listening, what we're really talking about here is just be a human. Put yourself in that customer's shoes. Definitely don't be treating this as a front end and back end thing, because no customer has ever purchased anything as a front end and back end. Like they don't think that way. They don't communicate that way. Anthony, for everybody out there watching and listening who would maybe love to connect with you, even continue some part of our conversation today, because I'm sure we didn't cover everything. What's the best way to connect with you?
Email. So it'd just be A Timpson at goldstandardautomotive.com.